Okay, we're going to stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to call this meeting to order, but I'm going to wait just another minute. I didn't check my left wing. I know both Meg and Tom are here. I thought they were behind me.
Having a bad influence.
I noticed. I hope it's not working its way up the line. Let's leave that door unlocked in case Meg wants to come through there.
No, just spreading them out. So I don't have to get up and run back and forth all the time.
Tell them when full stage on
I can't run around with it. Sure, like it'd be like a sprint.
Roll call, please.
Ernie Bassett.
Here.
Thomas Wood. Here. Mark Manning.
Here.
Michael Cashman. Meg LaFave.
Here.
James Coffin.
Here.
Mark Palmer.
Resolution 152, approving the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of July 6th and July 13th, 2015 be approved as the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Have a motion.
So move.
Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Mark Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes.
Meg LaFave.
Yes.
Ernie Bassett.
Yes, resolution carried. I'm going to deviate a little bit because I think I can do that. Later this evening, we have a resolution number 161 that we put together today entitled Proclamation of Recognition, Plattsburgh Little League Day. And I think we might have some gentlemen here from the Little League. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. That was your cue.
I got a sign first.
You have two choices here. One, you can sit through the entire meeting because your resolution proclamation is last because we just did that. Or I'd be willing to bring you up and we'll do this first and give you an option. How's that sound?
You sound very smart. I'll take that.
I've learned something after today. And if you would, you know, we do this a lot of times with the kids, and I wish the kids were here, and I'm hoping to see them tomorrow at 5:30, right?
5:30 at Bailey Avenue,
5:30.
Penfield Park, yes.
But if you would come up, I'd like to present a very special proclamation to you that the board has signed to acknowledge you and get you on our camera over there as well. And I'll let the words speak for themselves, and we'll hope they're all done correctly. Proclamation of Recognition. Whereas on the weekend of July 17, 2015, the Plattsburgh Little League teams, ages 9 and 10, as well as 11 and 12, advanced to the state championship, the first time ever that a team from the Plattsburgh area has achieved that level of play. And whereas these dedicated boys from the Clinton County area have been coached by David March, Chris Dory, Jeff Burns, Ryan O'Connell, Robbie Calkins, and Rob Knowles, who instilled in the team the qualities and skills that fostered this level of achievement in athletics and in their social and emotional well-being. And whereas the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board wishes to recognize the hard work and dedication of all members of the team, their coaching staff, and their families, therefore be it resolved that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board acknowledges and supports the Plattsburgh Little League Day, Thursday, July 23rd, 2015, as a day that the team be recognized for their accomplishments. And be it further resolved that the Town Board also encourages our community and its local businesses to demonstrate their support for the members of the team and their coaching staff in recognition of this achievement and their work as good ambassadors for Plattsburgh, the Champlain Valley, and the state of New York. By the Town Board members here present on July 20, 2015. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Sincerely, congratulations. It's a great honor.
At that age, I was playing right field, and the first hit out there hits me in the head and knocks me out. So I don't think I was really Little League material for that. Yeah, I'm just picking daisies every day.
But it is it's a great honor, and every time we send teams from this area, be it hockey, whatever, they really do represent us well. They bring that North Country attitude and disposition with them. They're humble when they go to play other teams. They're respectful when they're in other communities, and it does us all well. We do appreciate it. We know how much time it takes and effort. Congratulations again.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Should I move that?
I'll just leave the resolution. We'll hit that again in formality when we get there. We'll do the resolution at the end. It just, they got what they need. Yes, yeah. When we get to that, next then, back on the agenda would be Resolution 153, the abstract.
So I'm
Resolved that the abstract of auditor claims number 7G-15, 1173 to 1287 for $1,826,820.01. And abstract 7B-15, 249 to 266 prepays in the amount of $429,616.90. Be received as reviewed by the audit committee and the supervisors hereby authorized to pay said out.
Have a motion. Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Look.
Yes.
Art Mannix. Yes. Michael Patrick.
Yes.
Michael Fay.
Yes.
Larry Bud.
Yes, resolution's carried. Resolution 154, monthly department head reports.
Resolved and received and placed on file the monthly department head reports.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Woods, second. Mr. Cashman, any discussion?
I'd just like to add two things, not necessarily in the report of the recreation program, but I want to give some special kudos. Erin was recently named to Strictly Businesses 40 under 40 list, and that's certainly something that we should all take an immense amount of pride in, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's reflected in the next report through Mel. So kudos to her, and I know that Meg and I have been working with both Mel and Erin and the Adirondack Regional Theater to introduce a new program, Fresh Air Theater, and that's this weekend. So we're looking forward to seeing how that goes as a pilot program. But they've done a lot of work to work with the Adirondack Regional Theater to make this happen. So very appreciative.
They had a performance in Shazy. Was that this weekend? Did anyone get a chance to see that? Get any feedback on that?
I know that they felt that the production went very well, but they're really excited about the venue up in Katie'ville. It's a little bit bigger. They think that people will be able to bring out their lawn chairs and things like that. So I think it's going to be really successful. Just hope that the weather stays in our favor. But it is the North Country, and it's something new
Bring your
and
umbrella
different.
if you need to.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else?
Just note the reports that are filed was Building and Grounds, Highway Superintendent, Parks and Recreation, the Supervisor's Financial Report, Town Clerk's Report, Codes and Zoning, Planning Department, Tax Receiver, and Water and Wastewater. Those are reports that we received this month.
Anyone else? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Michael Pat.
Yes.
Michael Fay, Larry Goff.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 155, contract number 1, Route 3 and Soil Avenue Pump Station, periodic estimate payment number 3.
Whereas in Resolution 14-92, the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded to Stephen Fuller Incorporated the bid to provide work on Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue Pump Station. Whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed the periodic estimate for payment number 3 as indicated. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is hereby authorized to make said payment in the gross amount of $562,866.58, less 5% retainage of $28,143.33, making the total amount requested of $32,880.83 for periodic estimate number 3 to Stephen Fuller Excavating Incorporated, 8 Chesterfield Street, Post Office Box 386, Keysville, New York, 12944. And to be further resolved, payment be made from the 2013 Water Wastewater Budget Account, Sorrel Avenue, excuse me, for $5,845.06, and Route 3 account for $27,035.77, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater Department, Finance Manager, and Stephen E. Fuller Excavating Incorporated.
Have a motion. Ms. LaFave, second.
I'll second that for the purpose of discussion.
Mr. Mannix, discussion.
In the paragraph number 3, the first resolve, I think we need to add some clarifying language there that indicates that the gross amount of payment, 562, less payments already made, less the retainage, thereby coming up with the amount of 32. Because otherwise,
Would you like that amended to reflect that?
yeah.
Let me add that in, I'll repeat it. Okay, so Ms. LaFave, you made the motion. We would amend the first resolve to include notation that the payment is reflecting payments made previous in the amount of $504,842.42. Because there is a gap if you do just the math, and that 501,842.42 would be missing. Is that okay with you, Marty? Is that?
I don't have the supporting documentation,
Right.
so I can't give you the
Yep.
number.
Yep, I do. It is 501,842.42 that has been made previous, less the retainage, which gets us down to the $7. That should be in there. It was actually in the cover letter, but
Yep.
it didn't make it to the resolution.
Bernie, also, unless I'm having a brain cramp, date should be 2013, wastewater budget. It might have been encumbered in the 13 budget. I wouldn't move quickly to change that. And that's when the project began. Okay, because
That might
I
be
inquired,
correct.
I had inquired before and just want to make sure that that date is
Yep.
reflective of where it needs to be, so.
And this is for work covered
Yeah.
in 2014, so I would have to believe it was out of the 2013 budget. Just on principle versus if not fact. I will have that checked though. Any other discussion?
Yes, with the next resolution, we're giving periodic estimate payment number 4. The reason that we're having 2 back-to-back is that's unusual, and that would be because of the problems they had in that particular project.
That's highly probable. I mean, the bills are due. Sometimes they get delayed because we are having problems. We don't move them, we clear that up right before the next payment comes. That's highly probable. I can't respond to that off the cuff.
But it is a little bit unusual.
Yeah, but it's possible it could work that way, especially if the first one is delayed. There have been some issues out there. Any other discussion on 155?
All those issues will take care of, as far as I understand.
All of an awful big one.
Well, most of
And any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas,
As amended.
as amended, Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Manick,
Yes.
Michael Cassidy.
Yes.
Meg LaFave,
Yes.
Larry Gossett.
Yes, resolution carries. That one doesn't have the previous payment is $534,723.
That's what the previous payment is
534 is the previous payment. All right, let's get it on the table when we can. Resolution 156, contract number 1, Sorrel Avenue Pump Station, periodic estimate payment number 4.
Whereas in resolution 14-92, the town of Plattsburgh previously awarded to Stephen Fuller Incorporated the bid to provide work on Route 3 and Sorrel Avenue Pump Station. And whereas LaBerge Engineering Consulting Group and Scott Stoddard, Director of the Water and Wastewater Department, have reviewed the periodic estimate for payment number 4 as indicated. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisors hereby authorized to make payment that is in the gross amount of $566,763.33, less 5% retainage of $28,338.16, making a total amount requested of $534,723.25 for periodic estimate number 4 to Stephen Fuller Excavating Incorporated of 8 Chesterfield Street, Post Office Box 386, Keysville, New York 12944. And it be further resolved that the payment be made payable from the 2013 Water and Wastewater Budget, account Sorrel Avenue, for $3,701.92. And that a copy of this resolution be given to the Director of Water and Wastewater Department, the Finance Manager, and Stephen E. Fuller Excavating Incorporated.
Have a motion.
For purposes of discussion, I'll make a motion.
Mr. Mannix, do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. LaFave.
The numbers don't matter.
No, the first resolved is not correctly written. The gross amount of 566 is fine, less the 5% retained of 28,338 is fine, but then it should read less previous payment of 534,723. The 534,723 is previous payments. That should leave the total amount requested as $3,701.92.
I think your previous payment amount is $531. It's $531,000. $021.33. And when you subtract that from the $534,723.25, it leaves the $3,701.92. Or if you add $3,701.92 to $531,021
33, it equals 534, 723, 25.
You're doing the math faster than me. I'm looking back on the cover letter of request as well as the project voucher.
Yeah, I don't have it.
And what I'm seeing on there would indicate that the,
It says because they refer to
That's
the
right.
previous.
right, the previous payment in the amount of $534,723, it shouldn't have been the requested, leaving a balance of $37,0192 as in the last result.
That's correct.
Okay.
And that copy is exactly off the contractor sheet.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So let me indicate for everyone present, let's look at that first resolve. The supervisor hereby authorized to make payment that is in the gross amount of $566,763.33 less 5% retained, $28,338.16. Then instead of making the total amount requested, it should read less previous payment of $534,723.25. Then it should indicate making the total amount requested for this payment of $37,0192, which is the correct number in the resolve. And that does match the documentation.
Yep. Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
And Meg, you seconded that? Is that? And we'll obviously get copies of that back to you after. Any other discussion? As amended, roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael
Yes.
Patton, Meg LaFave, Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 157, Agricultural and Industrial Fair of Clinton County, Inc.
Whereas the town clerk has received an application with fees for a license to conduct and operate a public place of amusement within the town of Plattsburgh, the Agricultural and Industrial Fair of Clinton County Incorporated at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. And whereas said applicant received the issuance of a New York State Certificate of Inspection by the Code Enforcement Officer indicating full compliance, and a check for the application fee in the amount of $600 was submitted to the town clerk's office. Now therefore be resolved that after review of the certificate of insurance, naming the town of Plattsburgh as additional insured, the town clerk is hereby authorized to issue said license for a period from Tuesday, July 28th through Sunday, August the 2nd, 2015. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, code officer, and pool insurance.
Have a motion. Mr. Wood, second.
Second.
Mr. Cashman, any discussion?
Should we be providing a copy of this to the fair as well?
They get it all, the whole packet, when they get their license.
That's fine.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Patton,
Yes.
Meg LaFave, Bernie Bass.
Yes, resolution's carried. Resolution 158, appointment of Richard Rogowski to the position of town historian.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh town historian Jerry Bates has resigned from his appointment as of July 31st, 2015, and a new historian needs to be appointed to fill the vacancy. Whereas the town historian and supervisor have met with Richard Rogowski, who expressed an interest in the position as town historian. Now, whereas Mr. Rogowski is willing to serve in the position and has the background and expertise to effectively act as town historian. Now therefore be resolved that pursuant to section 148 of the education law, Richard Rogowski is hereby appointed to serve at the pleasure of the supervisor as town historian for the town of Plattsburgh, effective August 1st, 2015. And it be further resolved that Mr. Rogowski take the oath of office within 30 days of this resolution. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager, a copy put in his personnel file, and a copy, if required, be sent to the state retirement board.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, second.
Second.
Ms. LaFave, any discussion?
I think that you find rather large shoes to fill, but I know he's willing. This is a very important position. I believe it should continue to be a very important position. And I know that our town historian, Jerry Bates, has been working to get everything in order for him with all their contacts and the other boards that he's working with. And I think that's good. And I'm looking forward to seeing him continue in the manner that we have now.
And I'm sure you will as an independent. One of the things Mr. Bates and I have worked on is a job description for town historian. Now we'll get that on one of our work session agendas so everybody can look that over. It is important enough that it needs to be given to an individual that truly fills the description of the position. So we're going to adapt one formally in the near future. Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Minick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Larry Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 159, on-call MEO 3 temporary position in the highway department.
As the supervisor received a letter from the highway superintendent, James Woods, requesting that due to low staffing and retirement, the town board fill an on-call temporary MEO 3 position in the highway department. Whereas Mr. Fred Levine, a former employee who has the skills and the training to perform necessary duties, has agreed to work on a temporary basis to support the department's needs. Now therefore be resolved, the supervisor is authorized to sign all necessary documents to hire Mr. Fred Levine as a temporary on-call employee in the highway department, and a certified copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent, finance manager, pool insuring, civil service of Clinton County personnel for their final approval, and the copy be placed in Mr. Levine's personnel file. And it be further resolved, the town board welcomes Mr. Levine back to the town with appreciation for his willingness to serve in this capacity.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Cashman, second.
Second.
Mr. Wood, any discussion? You might recall that Fred held a similar position last year for us and really made a difference, especially in paving. Roll call.
And it's also because we have some employees that are temporary and available.
And not to mention, it is summer, and the individuals who aren't available, the smaller workforce, and people who like to get a summer vacation during the summer. It makes it a little more difficult. He is truly helping us out. Roll call, please.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Martin Minick,
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Mike LaFave,
Yes.
Larry Bassett.
Yes, resolution carries. Resolution 160, Schluter Systems Zoning Map Amendment Petition and Seeker Review 2015.
Whereas the town board has received a zoning amendment petition from Schluter Systems LLC on April 20th, 2015, and a report and recommendation thereon from the town planning board on May 19, 2015, in accordance with the zoning ordinance sections 17.2 and 17.3 for the following proposed zoning map amendments. Amending the zoning map by rezoning mobile home residential district tax map parcels 232.3-10.1 portions thereof, 232.3-11.1, and 232.3-11.2, an industrial district. Whereas the town board duly called for a public hearing for the consideration of the aforementioned amendment to give due notice before as required by the law. Whereas said public hearing was held in this town board at the town hall at 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, on the 6th day of July 2015 at 7 p.m. for said date, at which time the proposed zoning map amendments and proposed seeker material were available. Whereas Clinton County Planning Board was provided with a copy of proposed zoning map amendments, and did by unanimous vote on July 1st, 2015, did determine the General Municipal Law Section 239M referral action to the local issue. And whereas as Part 617 of the Environmental Conservation Law provides the involved agency to review any action for the purpose of determining the effect of said action on the environment. Whereas said determination of the effect of said action on the environment will be necessary to determine whether a draft environment impact settlement is required. Whereas the town board is considered an involved agency in accordance with the state laws for the purpose of assessing the effect of these zoning ordinance and the map amendments of the environment and whether or said effect is significant enough to warrant the preparation of a deed environmental impact statement. And whereas the town board has previously declared the map amendment to be an unlisted action determined to coordinate the review is not necessary pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Whereas the town board has identified the relevant areas of environmental concern and has taken a hard look at these areas and has made reasonable elaborate of the basis for its determination. Whereas it is in the opinion of the members of the town board that the best interest of the town of Plattsburgh will be served by the adoption of said amendments. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, in consideration with the planning board report and recommendations, comments made at the public hearing on the zoning map amendments, and referral of part 1 of the completion of parts 2 and 3 of the AEF long form, and the review of related material accordingly issued a negative declaration of seeker for the purpose of zoning ordinance and the map amendments determined that the said attachments will not have a significant effect on the environment, and the preparation of the DIS is not required. And said documentation is hereby referenced and incorporated herein and shown as attached Exhibit A. And to be further resolved, the town board, town of Plattsburgh, does hereby authorize and direct the supervisor to complete and have prepared and executed notice of no significant environmental impact negative declaration for these zoning ordinance and map amendments. And it be further resolved that notice of no significant environmental impact negative declaration and all the related material shall be maintained on file in the town offices of the town board and available for public inspection. And the reasons for the declaration are stated in the attached negative declaration. And it be further resolved that the zoning ordinance and map of the town of Plattsburgh be amended as follows. 1, amending the zoning map by rezoning mobile home residential district tax map parcels 232.3-10.1 portions thereof, 232.3-11.1, and 232-311.2 to industrial district. And to be further resolved, said amendments be entered into the minutes of the town board, town of Plattsburgh, held on the 20th day of July 2015. And to be further resolved that in accordance with section 264 and 265 of the town law, a copy summary of the abstract and amendments exclusive of any map shall be published in the Press Republican, a newspaper published in the town with its affiliates of publications shall therefore later filed with the town clerk. And it be further resolved that the amendment shall take effect as provisions by and in accordance with section 265 of the town law. And it be further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the town clerk, zoning department, and planning department.
Have a motion.
So moved.
Ms. LaFave, second.
Second.
Mr. Mannix, any discussion? I just would briefly like to say to Jim Abdallah, you represented the request well. Appreciate your time to come to work sessions, provide materials, came back, gave us some feedback. Schluter, as a business in the town, has been a very positive growing business, creating lots of jobs, etc. That's important, but I think you in representation of the project also were considerate of our concerns, that we didn't have a little industrial sprawl into an area that maybe shouldn't be spread into. Together we seem to make it work. But you came, you provided information, you worked with us, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Thomas Wood,
Yes.
Mark Mannix,
Yes.
Michael Capson,
Yes.
Maggie LaFave,
Yes.
Bernie Pastor.
Yes, resolution carries. The next item on our list, we literally just went through. I think I could waive the reading of the resolution. We already read it in the proclamation. we'll enter this one in and then I'll go through the motions. Resolution number 161, proclamation of recognition, the Plattsburgh Little League Day, as well as the team, of course. And do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Mannix, did you want to?
I make a motion that each of the members of the board be listed as sponsoring the motion, and each of the members of the board be listed as seconding the motion.
Everyone in
I'll second
agreement
that.
with that? I can't imagine you wouldn't be. And is there any further discussion on this motion? With that said, could we get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Art Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Maggie LaFave.
Yes.
Larry Bell.
Yes, resolution carries. That is the last item on my agenda. Wish everyone to drive safely and
Stay
have a
cool.
good rest of your week.
Stay cool.
Stay cool. Getting a motion to adjourn. Mr. Wood, second Mr. Cashman. Any further discussion on that? Roll call on the motion to adjourn.
Thomas Wood.
Yes.
Art Manning.
Yes.
Michael Cash.
Yes.
Maggie LaFave.
Yes.
Larry Bell.
Yes, the resolution carries. We'll stay adjourned at 7:35 PM.